Hey amazing people, welcome to my channel. My name is Julia Rack. So today's tutorial we are going to be treating on this mini dress that you see me putting on. I made a community post and asked you guys to choose your next tutorial, and this is what you guys choose. So this is your vote. Number one. Okay, so we are going to be making the tutorial today. So this is how your vote went on. Okay, but before we start making the tutorial, I'm going to point out some details on this dress. From the shoulder, it has a strap on the both shoulder, okay? The fact that one of it has sleeves, but it still has a strap on it, okay? So when you look down to the sleeves, the sleeve also has some details on it. There is some opening, they didn't stitch it all completely closed. But if you want yours to be completely closed, you can also do that. So it's optional. For me, I didn't sew mine completely, okay? So we're going to begin now by drafting out the pattern. There's going to be a pattern drafting and also the sewing tutorial, okay? So on the table, I have all the tools that I need to draft my pattern. 2 of my marker pen, my tracing wheel, my tape rule to take my measurement. I have my French cup that I'm going to be using, okay? So the pattern master is not useful. It's just to help me press the paper down. And this is my pattern paper. It also being on fold, okay? My pattern paper is on fold. You're going to get place your pattern on fold on this particular style, okay? Your pattern needs to be placed on fold before you start cutting. Or if you want to cut it direct to the fabric, make sure you have a very long strap that is going to contain both the front and the back together. But it's advisable to draft out the pattern first before you cut it on the fabric, okay? I'm going to begin now by creating my starting point, which is going to become my shoulder measurement as usual, okay? So once I'm done, I'm going to impute my shoulder measurement. The one of the sleeve is cut together, okay? But one side is not cut together. It doesn't have a sleeve. So that is why we need this shoulder measurement, okay? So you need to impute your shoulder measurement for preference. That is for one of the shoulder. So once I mark my shoulder measurement, I'm going to mark my neck, the neck width. My neck width is 5 inches because we are making a jewel drop neckline, okay? So my neck width is 5 inches and then the neck depth is 1.5 inches. This is going to apply both the front and the back, okay? So from the edge down there, I'm going to be marking 1.5 inches for shoulder slope, which is for the part where the sleeve is cut together, okay? So I'm going to place my, let me make it bold so that you see, okay? So I'm going to place my French cuff there and I'm going to connect this line. That is my shoulder slope, okay? So once I'm done from there, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to be taking my vertical measurement, which is going to become my shoulder, my vertical measurement from my shoulder to my bust line and from my bust line to my top length, okay? So my from the shoulder to my bust line is 9.5 inches. That is what I'm marking there. And also I'm going to repeat the measurement so that I can have an accurate line, okay? So once I'm done marking, I'm going to get my French curve and I'm connect my straight line. So the next measurement to be taken is from my shoulder to my top length, or the half length rather. Okay, I want to say something on this half length, okay? So if you make cutting your half length, if your half length is usually 18 inches, use exactly 18 inches and then you're going to add 0.5 inch to join it back to your skirt, okay? So I made a mistake here. My dress didn't sit proper the way I wanted because I reduced my half length, okay? But if you want to have your half length sit proper, you should mark exactly your half length before you take it out. So what I did here, I impute my chest line, from my shoulder to my chest line is 8 inches, okay? So that is what I just marked there. And also what I'm doing here, I'm labeling my markings so that I will know where and where this line belongs to, okay? So since we are drafting the front and the back pattern together here, I'm going to be switching to my blue marker pen. Okay, so that is what I'm doing. So since I'm working on the back pattern right now, I'm going to be using blue. Remember, one side of the dress, it doesn't have a hand, so that is why I'm working on this part. So I impute half of my shoulder measurement, which is 7 inches. So that is what I just did. Okay, so I'm going to connect it like this to meet to my shoulder line. All right. So since I'm working on the back, one side of the hand, it doesn't have a hand. So yeah, that is why I needed this measurement. So what I'm doing here, I impute my round bust circumference divided by 4 is 8.5, and then I add additional 3 inches. So I'm going to be using 1 inch to join my to impute my zip allowance, because from the upper part, as you can see, it's a free dress. Okay, it's not a fitted dress. So I'm adding a total of 3 inches to this measurement. So I have a total of 11.5 inches. So that 11.5 inches, I'm going to impute it to my half length, which is my waist. Okay, so once I'm done, I'm going to connect this line. So basically that is it. And then I'm going to connect my neck depth. So yeah, we are basically done from the almost done from the upper part. Okay, so the next thing now, I need to create my armhole curve. So I made a mistake here. You guys, this is my first time trying this style. Okay, I didn't know how it actually been done, so I made a mistake by uh, drawing out additional my armhole curve. Okay, so this part now that I'm putting dots is the initial line that I'm supposed to follow, and then I added additional line at this part. So that means when I've done with it, it was not looking nice. So next time when I'm going to recreate this measurement this style again, I'm going to correct my mistake. So the line that I put dot 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 dot, that is what the line that you are going to work on. Okay, so the next thing now, I'm going to place my tape from this part so I can mark my sleeve opening. My sleeve opening is 11 inches. So that is how full or big I want my sleeve to be. Then I connect this line, straight line from this part, so that I can be able to work on this part. Okay, so once if you draw that straight line, so you place your armhole cuff or you use your free hand to connect this marking, this cuff like you see me doing. Okay, just connect it to meet to your waistline as just little as it is. Okay, so I'm indicating that part that I'm going to be adding 12 inches to that part, because the pattern is very small, so it's not wide enough to contain my sleeve length. Okay, so as you can see, I indicate that I need to add 12 inches allowance to my sleeve so it can complete my sleeve length. So take note of that. Okay, if your pattern paper is small, remember to add your joining allowance back to your complete your sleeve length. Okay, so that you can have exactly the sleeve length. So if your sleeve length is 28, I will advise you to add additional 4 inches to that length to get it to look exactly like the original pictures. Okay, so once I'm done connecting all this part, I'm going to be adding 0.5 inch joining allowance all round. Okay, so after taking your initial measurement, you need to add 0.5 inch joining allowance. So on this part, I added from the part where there is no the sleeves, but it wasn't necessary, because at the end of the day, I still take so much of allowance while I was joining it. So I was joining the sleeve together, or I was joining my zip. Okay, so I added 0.5 inch from the shoulder, also 0.5 inch from the hemming part. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to start by cutting all the unwanted part that I don't want. I need to cut them out. So pay attention and see the part where I'm cutting out so that you not go and make a mistake, okay? So once I'm done, I'm going to separate it. So this is the back, so I'm going to open it so that I can take out the part where I don't want the sleeve, the part that doesn't have sleeves, okay? So that is what I'm doing here. So I'm going to cut this part out, and then the other side is going to remain. So when I'm going to cut it on my fabric, I will know that this is the part where the sleeve is not there, okay? So basically this is it. When I turn it again, it's going to look like this. So I have gone ahead to draft a pattern for my skirt. I have a tutorial where I explain how to cut a mini skirt, okay? So this is the same thing. So the only difference that you're going to do, you are going to include your waistband to the pattern, okay? So if you haven't seen that tutorial, I'm going to leave this tutorial on the comment section or on the screen, so you can go and watch get your skirt pattern draw out, and then you come back here to complete your dress, okay? So what you're going to do at the waist, you're going to add additional 2 inches to the waistline, okay? After you have you must have cut take your half length measurement, then you add 2 inches to your skirt length, okay, to your skirt, the waist of your skirt, okay? That is the band, the skirt band. You're going to add it to the pattern while you're drafting, and then you add 0.5 inches to that 2 inches that you kept for the band. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, okay? So once I'm done cutting out my pattern, so the next thing now, this is the fabric that I'm going to be working with, okay? So this is silk material. Silk material is recommended for this particular dress, this particular style. Don't go and use Ankara. Ankara will not work for it, okay? So once I'm done, I'm going to prepare my pattern, my fabric rather. So on this part here, the length of the fabric that I cut out is 45 inches long, okay? And then the length is 18 inches. So this length is the width is more than enough to contain the sleeve length that I want, and this is being placed on fold, okay? So this fold now, or the way it is now, is going to give me both the front and the back pattern together, okay? And so what I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to connect all this marking to meet to my sleeve line, and then I'm going to impute my sleeve opening from this edge. So the mistake I did was that this 45 inches, I should have just left it like that completely, but I actually trim it off. At the end of the day, when I was done with the cloth, I noticed that the sleeve was too short. So yeah, back to it. After I finish arrange everything, now I'm cutting out the pattern, or cutting out my fabric. I place my pattern on the fabric to cut the pieces out, okay? So you are going to take your time when you're working on a silk fabric. Silk fabric has its own thing going on for itself, okay? It's not something that you can just work on it quick. No, it's something that you need to take your time. To be honest with you, if I tell you what I went through to cut out this material, it was so difficult. Like I struggle before I was able to get this the whole thing cut out, because the material wasn't stable. It was just moving around, and I was just holding it gently so that she can allow me to do my work, you know. So once I'm done cutting out everything, so as you can see, I cut out the front and the back together. So the only way for you to get this, you're going to get a very long pieces of fabric, okay? Place it two, okay, for you to get your top cut out. So on the table right here, I have a pieces that measure 21 inches. The length, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to use one of the pieces, place it on top like this. So what I'm trying to cut out now is the facing. Okay, you need to cut out facing because of the strap. You need facing to join your strap back to your dress. Okay, so that is what I'm doing. I have cut out the trace it out, and then the next now I'm going to be cutting out the part where I want. So what you're going to take notice that even though if you don't want the facing to be that wide, at least let it be 2.5 inches, okay, wide. So by the time you're going to use 0.5 to join the facing to your top, you should be able to have at least 2 inches. If you don't have a overlocking machine, then you can just fold it twice and then stop stitch it to hide all the rough edges. Okay, but for me, I have a overlocking machine, so once I'm done from here, I'm going to go and weave all the rough edges. So as you can see, I have done with all the rough edges. So the next now I'm going to be cutting the skirt. Place your fabric on fold, and also take note that the zip is going to be by the side. Okay, so both the front and the back is going to be cut on fold. Okay, so the only part where the zip is going to be is on the side. Okay, so I have done cutting now the front and the back pieces. So this is my two skirt. So the next thing now I'm going to be working on my on the shirt. Okay, I need to face my like I need to pin my strap to the bodies. Okay, the strap and also the facing. So the only way you work with the strap is when you once you've placed this facing, you will place the strap underneath too. Okay, so there is something you also need to take note of. Okay, how you need to place the strap. You're going to mark 0.5 inch. Okay, you're going to mark 0.5 inch inward, then you place your strap. Okay, because if you place it direct to the point where you need to stitch your facing on, you're not going to get it correct. So as you can see, I didn't place it direct to the edges. I marked 0.5 inch inward before I place my strap. Okay, so that is what you should do. So once I'm done, so I'm going to continue by pinning it. Okay, I'm going to pin it till I get to this edge here. I'm going to repeat the same process. Okay, I'm going to get my strap, and then I'm going to place it on these sharp edges the way here. Yeah, I'm going to place it there, and then I'm going to pin it. Since I'm working with a silk material, this is something that is difficult for you to do without pinning. Okay, so I'm working with a silk material. I have to pin this down so that it will enable me to stitch my pieces together without being interrupting, or the fabric will be moving around. Okay, so once I'm done, I'm going to start by let me show you where I'm going to start by stitching. Okay, so I'm going to start from the beginning of that the end of the lining, the facing. Okay, I'm going to stitch around with 0.5 inch allowance. So right now I'm on my sewing machine. I have done the first one, so this is the second piece. Okay, so what I did from the first piece is what I'm doing here for the second piece. So you are going to follow the same process. Okay, and if the video is too fast, you can play it on a slow motion or on a slow playback, I don't know how to call it, yeah, so that you can understand the sewing process. Okay, if the sewing process is too fast for you to follow. Okay, but I hope that my explanation will, you should be able to get your dress done. So once I'm done, I have also gone ahead to iron interfacing on all my pieces and give it a very good press. Okay, so the next thing now we need to work on how to join the piece together. Okay, so from the shoulder, the part where it has sleeves, you are not going to stitch it completely, okay? So if you follow this process that I did, you will be notice that from where your lining stop, okay, that is where you're going to start by stitching it, okay, with 0.5 inch allowance, okay? So you're not going to start from where the strap is, you start from where the lining, no, the facing stop, okay? You're going to join that with 0.5 inch allowance all the way down. So once I'm done joining it, I'm going to go back to my weaving machine and I'm going to weave the sleeve, okay? So yeah, I'm going to go and do that. I have already joined the sleeve together, and also I have gone ahead to weave the rough edges from the sleeve. All the part I needed to join, I also gone ahead to weave all of them, okay? So what I'm doing right here, and I'm marking the length of the length I'm going to stitch, okay? So as you can see from the beginning of this video, I explained to you that there are some details on the sleeve, right? So these are the details I'm talking about. So for the where I'm going to start by stitching mine, or to close my sleeve, or to close my dress, is going to be a total length of 6 inches, okay? So from this part where I'm taking my tape around, so that is the part where I'm going to start stitching, okay? So from here that you see me marking, this is where my stitching is going to start from. So like I said, that is optional. You can decide to just leave your sleeve completely open like that, okay? But it depends with you. And also know that I said that when you're going to cut your sleeve, make sure that your sleeve is longer. If you take your sleeve measurement and it gives you 28, make that sleeve 30, no, make that sleeve 35, okay? So that by the time you close this part here where I'm taking my round wrist circumference, okay, when you're going to close that part, you are meant to make it fitted, okay, so that you can also shift it up in form of like a bishop sleeve kind of. So when you shift it up, you see that it's going to have that gather on your ribs. But mine, it was too short. When I finished with this dress, I noticed that the sleeve was too short for me. But lucky for me is that I'm going to remake this same I'm going to recreate this style again with the original material, that like original fabric. This is a bridal satin that I use, but the recommended fabric for you to use to achieve this dress is silk material. But if you don't have silk and you have this kind of lightweight bridal satin, then you can use it. It still work, okay? So the part where I'm pointing, those are the part where I'm not going to stitch on it, okay? I'm only going to stitch from where I took my right wrist circumference, which was 7 inches, but I added additional 1 inch to make it 8 so that my hand can go in out, okay? So after, from the point where I mark the 8 inches mark, I'm going to mark 1 inch down, like mark 1 inch below, so I can stop stitch on this part, okay? I'm going to stitch on this part where I'm pointing my fingers, okay? Then I will move back to this corner here, that is the side, and then I'm going to join the side also, okay? So move on to the side where there is no sleeves. So this side that there is no sleeve, we are going to be attaching a zip allowance, okay? So the zip allowance that we're going to be taking is 1 inches, okay? So I'm going to mark the 1 inch by the side, okay? So this is the part where I'm going to stitch it, where I'm going to fix my zip. So I'm not fixing my zip at this moment because I need to join my skirt back to join my skirt to my half length first before I will fix my zip, okay? So we still have some long way. So what I'm going to do next now, I'm going to start by stitching this part where I took the part where I take my measurement before, okay? I'm going to start by stitching them down with the allowances that I took initially, okay? So I have done stitch the side. So the next I'm going to move on to the side where my zip, I'm going to fix my zip. So I'm going to make a temporary stitch here because I'm not going to make use of it. So once I'm done from there, I'm going to be working on my skirt. So this is my skirt, okay, my two piece of the front and the back piece, okay. So before I will do that, I need to take out the allowances that I need to stitch out, okay. So I took my round hip circumference and my round waist circumference. So right now I'm going to be taking the length of the zip, okay, how long I want my zip to be. So I took the measurement from the waist, so I mark it there. Then I'm going to make a loose a temporary stitch and stop for where I insert the length of my skirt, and then I'm going to back stitch. Then I'm going to go ahead to stitch one side first, okay. I've gone ahead to stitch on my skirt together. As you can see, I also give it a very good press. From the hemming part, I iron I weave interfacing on it so that it will be easy for me when I'm going to fold it, okay. So I'm going to fold it all around, then we'll move on. I have done that also. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to lose the temporary stitch that I did from the zip. Remember, I made a tutorial, okay, a tutorial on how you fix zip to your garment. So this is the same method I'm using here. If you can remember, I said that you are going to make a temporary stitch and make sure you iron it so that you can have a proper guideline. A proper guideline when you're going to fix your zip, okay. If you iron the part where you're going to fix your zip in while it's still on stitch, okay, it's going to help you when you lose it, okay. When you lose it, yeah, that those crease line is going to help you direct you how to fix your zip. So once I'm done reach the half length or my blouse, I'm going to take the measurement from my skirt, the round waist, okay. I'm going to take the round waist measurement and be sure that it's exact measurement to the upper part. So if it fits, then I'm going to start by pinning it. So since I am working with the silk material, I have to go through this process of pinning before I start stitching, okay. So this process is not something that you will rush it, okay. So once I'm done pinning this and I'm satisfied, I'm going to go back to my sewing machine, and then I'm going to start by joining it with 0.5 inch allowance, okay. So I hope that this explanation is clear for you to follow. If the video is too fast, please, you can play it back on a normal play so that you can understand exactly what I'm doing here. So the reason why I'm fast forwarding it is because at this process I'm just pinning the skirt and the top together, okay. So there is nothing serious about this process on this particular spot, okay. So once I'm done with pinning all, I'm going to go back to the sewing machine and I'm going to join it all round, okay, with 0.5 inch allowance. So I'm on my sewing machine now. I'm going to start by stitching it with 0.5 inch allowance, okay. So I hope you learned something from this channel today. If you do, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Leave your comment below. Let me know what you think, okay. And at this point, if you're yet to subscribe to my channel, please kindly do so. Subscribe and don't forget to turn on your post notification. Also help me share this video, okay, so that it can reach the variety of people they need it, okay. So once I'm done, I'm going to head back to my sewing machine and I'm going to weaving machine, I'm going to weave all the rough edges, and then after then I'm going to fix zip to my dress, okay. So that will be basically. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on my next sewing tutorial, okay. Bye.